Jai Hind, good morning, Shubh Pratah, and also Happy New Year. I have been looking forward to this first meeting of mine, which is the first press conference after I have taken over as Chief of Army Staff. So through you, I would like to wish all the countrymen a very Happy New Year, Happy Lodi, in advance, Happy Veterans Day and Happy Army Day. As you are aware, you are a vital channel between Army and the citizens, and your progressive and constructive reporting helps in showcasing the Indian Army in the correct perspective. I'm a strong proponent of the theme that mass media and security forces have great potential to converge together towards nation building and national security. So, let me adopt your modus operandi and straightway come to the bottom line up front. That is, what is my mission statement? And that is to ensure full spectrum of preparedness while concurrently transforming Indian Army into an Atmanirbhar future-ready force to be a relevant and key pillar of the national security apparatus that also contributes meaningfully towards the nation building. And towards that, our lines of effort as regards the developed nation by 2047 are truly aligned. और विकसित भारत के लक्ष्य को हासिल करने के लिए एक सुरक्षित वातावरण अनिवार्य है. In that, we emerge as the net security provider for the entire nation. So I'll first dwell upon few security issues, and to begin with the northern borders. As you're aware, the situation is sensitive but stable. In October 2024, situation in Depsang and Demchok in eastern Ladakh got resolved. The patrolling to traditional areas in these two subsectors has commenced. Similarly, the traditional grazing has also commenced in these two areas. We shall continue to discuss the effective management of other sensitive areas also along the northern borders. And towards that end, I have authorized all my co-commanders to handle these issues at the ground level with respect to patrolling and grazing so that the trivial issues can be resolved at the military level itself. Own deployment along LSA is balanced and robust. We are well poised to deal with any situation. A focused capability development for northern borders enabled infusion of niche technology into our warfighting system and a whole of nation approach. We are progressing well. हमारी प्राथमिकता है सभी एजेंसीज की सहभागिता, बॉर्डर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को और मजबूत बनाना है. Coming on to J&K, situation is firmly under control. On line of control, ceasefire, which is effective from Feb 2021 after the DGMO's understanding, is holding on. However, the terror infrastructure across remains intact. Infiltration attempts continue, including from the IB sector or so many other avenues which are available, along with drone attempts to smuggle warlike stores and narcotics. In hinterland, in recent months, increased terrorist activities was seen in North Kashmir and Doda-Kishtwar belt. Our CT grid there has been reinvigorated and tempo of kinetic ops has been enhanced. Past year, 60% of terrorists eliminated were of Pakistan origin. As of today, whatever is remnant in the valley and Jammu area, we feel that around 80% or more are from Pakistan origin. Overall, violence parameters under control, tourism, development activities, Amarnath Yatra, where we witnessed more than 5 lakh pilgrims this time, and peaceful conduct of elections are indicators to a positive change. So the theme of terrorism to tourism is gradually taking shape. Regards Northeast, overall situation in Northeast is gradually improving. In Manipur, synergized efforts of security forces and proactive government initiatives have brought situation under control. However, cyclic incidents of violence continue. शांति और सद्भाव स्थापित करने की दिशा में ठोस प्रयास जारी हैं. Various NGOs and our veterans too are reaching out to the community leaders to give effect to a kind of a reconciliation. Along Indo-Myanmar border, enhanced surveillance and domination is in place. That is to insulate from spillover of turbulence which is taking place in Myanmar as of now. Fencing is a significant step, and we have started to commence a new progress towards this end. As far as humanitarian assistance and disaster relief is concerned, based on the experience gained in 2024, we have specifically earmarked rupees 17 crore for upgrading of our QRTs and QR medical teams. Besides, we have taken a decision to create 17 bricks of HADR, that is humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, as we realize that at places our columns reach, but the resources to provide kind of a rescue operation are not available. Towards that end, we are creating these 17 bricks. It is pan-India. As far as northern borders are concerned, since we have a pan-northern front presence, so Army will play a first responder role, and we will not await any request from the state. We would be reacting on our own to make sure that maximum people can be rescued wherever any disaster relief has to be carried out. Now, for ease of continuity and communication, my balance of the pointers will be on the same lines as given by General Pandey last time. What does it mean? As you know, my predecessor was a visionary, and he declared 2023 as the year of transformation, and he declared 2024 as the year of technology absorption. So what I have done, that once I took over, the year of the transformation was declared as the decade of transformation, commencing from the time General Pandey had announced. And year of technology absorption was extended to 2025 also, because there's a lot to be done as far as the technology absorption is concerned. So, year of transformation, since it becomes a decade of transformation, so the pillars remain the same. So I would be covering balance of my update based on those 5 pillars which were given to you by General Pandey. To begin with, it starts with force restructuring. So it's a continuous process to give effect to organizational structures commensurate to threat and technology infusion to ensure the operational effectiveness. As of now, we have already carried out some reorganizations in cyber, electronic warfare, ISR units, and rebalancing 1.0 in consonance with our new emerging threat. Now what we are looking for is the rebalancing 1.5. We are also looking at new tailor-made organizations in the field of ISR, special ops, combined or integrated or all-arms brigade. Then we are looking at info ops groups. We will also be looking at raising of some combat units or the headquarter, and some de novo organization based on the emerging technology, for example, MUMT, that is manned unmanned teams. We also remain alive to the requirements of theaterization. So in conjunction with theaterization, we would be looking for some changes which will include in terms of the areas, sub-areas, div, core, and command headquarter, which will be duly synergized with the theaterization initiative. Now coming on to the second pillar, that is modernization and tech infusion. So as far the force modernization is concerned, you are well aware that from EP 1 to 4, we had carried out major procurement, which was enhancing our cumulative combat effectiveness. And now we have also been approved the emergency procurement for CT ops, because we have carried out a major induction of regular troops in the Punch Rajouri area as well as in the valley. So therefore, there is a requirement for some additional equipment. As for the fields are concerned, it's firepower and lethality, protection and mobility, and we are looking at night to be fought as day. As far as drone and counter drones are concerned, we are looking at no scaling as of now because it's an evolving technology. So we will need new structures, we will need new kind of drones and new scaling. So based on the operational requirement, we are working towards that. As of now, I call it eagle on the arm for every soldier. What you also hear, the new term which is coming as FPV for the drones. As far as the artillery is concerned, the mediumization process is on, and 155 mm caliber has been kept as the main caliber. As far as the mechanized platforms are concerned, we are on our path for modernization with respect to the FRCV, FICV, light tanks, and wheeled AFVs. Aviation, LCH induction has already commenced. As regards the loiter and precision munition is concerned, I must give the credit to the domestic industry that which was a far-sighted thing is now seeing the light of the day, and we are able to kind of orders from the Indian industry developers. I will also cover the technology infusion here. As I told you that year of technology absorption 24-25, both years have been given the same name. So what are we looking for in this? Firstly, we are looking for that upgrade en masse the human resource, including the tactical commanders to become the techno commanders, because they are the decision makers. And if the decision maker is alive to the technology, the technical people will be finding it more easier to sail through. As far as our MTech is also concerned, that has increased by 30%. Similarly, the NDA syllabus which has been concerned, which is undergoing a major change, and probably by year 26 we should be able to see that on ground. Similarly, our promotion examinations, courses of instructions, the technology aspects have been just double. While doing this, we have also gone in for collaboration with experts in other ministries, academia, industry, and we are also aligning with the national technology missions. There are 16 technology clusters which have been identified by the Indian Army, which has already been there in the news for quite some time, with fixed responsibility and fixed outcomes. As for the data harmonizing is concerned, for artificial intelligence, it is most important, and we are working together on this issue. I must also say that this is the first year where we have gone in for multi-domain operations, operational discussions, independent of op discussions which we carry out. This is based on the front basis on the both sides. And why it is more important? Because this time we included the subject matter expert from whole of the nation and also the veterans. So we had from CERT India, Cyber, and all those representatives from the ministries came in and participated in this. The veterans expert group have also been created, which is working under Deputy Chief ISNC, and they will give us the report by Feb end as far as Indian Army is concerned. How should we look at technology infusion and absorption in the years to come as part of the decade of transformation? So far, we have signed approximately 63 MOUs on the subject. MCT, that is Military College of Telecommunication Engineering at Mao, figures as a strategic partner in Indian AI mission, Chip 2 Startup mission, and Quantum Key Distribution project. Our collaborative efforts, the joint training with CERT India and joint research in counter-US and advanced wireless-based managed system has also commenced. Army Data Network in last 6 months, which had the span within the Army for 7,000 subscribers only, has increased 3 times to 21,000 subscribers. We have created an Indian Army AI Incubation Center at Bangalore with mentorship of IISc Bangalore and IIT Bombay. I must thank Bell to provide us that kind of a space in Bangalore for that. We are also establishing an Army IIT Research Center at IIT Madras to take our innovations forward. We are also incorporating blockchain technology in a technology-based vendor registration model, which is under progress in collaboration with MITI and CDAC. As far as secure space-based vehicle tracking and convoy management system that is already commencing with Navik. And of course, Sambhav phone, which you're already aware that this phone we are using. And this time during our border talks in the October month, most of the communication was through this phone. As far as the third pillar is concerned, that is system, process and functioning, we are looking at data analytics and defining the single source of truth. In the future, we are looking at data integration. So there are two things in this. As you know, Army is different from other services where the empowerment or the center of excellence starts from the battalion. Therefore, the maximum delegation must take place there. But today, the maximum centralization of orders or powers or authority is at the Army headquarters. This is only feasible to delegate once you have the data centricity in the center, but the delegation at the lower level. Here, the artificial intelligence will play a pivotal role. For example, if a vehicle gets condemned and you want to get the vehicle released, it takes the complete chain of command by the time it reaches and that gets released. But with the artificial intelligence, moment the vehicle gets condemned, within 24 hours, the release order will be automatically generated. So that is the kind of a thing we want to achieve by year 2025 end. As far as the delayering of headquarters, this we are looking at. For any communication in Army, it takes 6 to 7 layers. We are wanting to delayer. We are also looking at skip echelon system. That is simultaneously addressing all the headquarters, and the highest headquarter which is supposed to give the decision must get the fastest. Modification of acquisition process, which is overdue, we are looking forward to, and the way year of reforms which has been announced by our Raksha Mantri ji, I am sure this will get a major impetus. Coming on to the human resource management, it's a subject in itself. I would not like to cover too many things in this, but just to tell you that the upgradation of the HR potential en masse is something which is our aim, while ensuring the welfare of rank and file, veterans, Veer Naris and their dependents. As for the Agnipath is concerned, 123 Agniveers are presently there, and we are getting a good feedback from the battalion commanders. They are fast on uptake, enthusiastic and keen to do well. As far as the SSB is concerned, you are well aware that the SSB reforms have been undertaken, and today we have increased our intake, which was 1300 per year in 2022 to 1900, which is projected in 2024. So that is the kind of officer intake which we are ensuring by carrying out some reforms in the service selection board. As for the women officers are concerned, we are doing a remarkable job in the field. Presently, we have 1732 women officers serving with us, and we have approved a study to increase this number to 2037. In other ranks, we have approximately 310 women soldiers, and we are looking forward to more. During the question answer session, I will take on as far as the progress on this side is concerned. About women empowerment, all women skydiving display team of Indian Army shall be raised in 2025. That's our endeavor. You'll be happy to note that the recruitment in Territorial Army has commenced again. And this time we have delegated this to the commanding officer for first 30% so that the recruitment can take at the fastest possible pace. Institution of an Army Subedar Major. This is something to connect Jawans directly with the Army Chief. So wherever I go, the Army Subedar Major accompanies me. When I am taking a briefing in the higher headquarters, he is meeting the JSUs and men of that. And also, this has been now given out for the commands also. 3 of the 7 commands have already instituted that, others would be completed by 31st Jan. So, the gap or the communication gap between a Jawan and the senior most hierarchy will keep getting close with every passing day. As far as the effort to upscale our military training institutions is concerned, we want that to come to the world repute. And we are looking at Institute of National Importance for our Army War College. The case has already been taken up for that. Also, we are opening up the Army War College for the foreign students. As you are aware, the junior command and senior command were already open, but now we are opening the higher command course also. And this time, as a trial basis, we are doing it for a week. Next time, we'll increase it based on the feedback. This time, for this 7-day capsule, we'll be having the academia, industrialists, possibly the media also, bureaucrats, as also the foreign officers who always come and attend the course there for HDOC. As far as the veterans are concerned, Project Naman, as you are aware, we had started this scheme in August 2024. 14 centers were open. A very positive response has been received in that. And therefore, we are planning to open this approximately 200. And this is in conjunction with Common Service Center, which is the SPV of Maiti, and also the HDFC CSR. We are also gone in for a series of Shaurya Samprava for the veterans. More during the question answer, I will explain about this. Coming on to the fourth pillar, that is jointness and integration, though it is the domain of the CDS, but I would just like to say that in jointness 1.0, we have gone in for the integrated acquisition plan, courses of instructions commonality, joint logistic node, common utilization of bases and station amenities. In 2.0, we have gone in for addressing the service culture, thinking and symbology. Here we made a good progress in doctrines and SOPs also. Now we are looking at 3.0, that common operating planning procedures, defense communication architecture, digital maps. But as far as the army is concerned, you will find that we look at jointness and integration with so many others. In border area, we are looking at jointness integration with our CAPS who are working with us. In the hinterland, we are looking with the police and the CRPF and other agencies. Int-agencies, we are working very closely every day. Besides this, when it comes to the conventional operations, multi-domain operations has to have a whole of nation approach. And that is where we are working with other agencies and other ministries in this respect. Now, in addition to the transformational pursuits that I have spelled out, Indian Army's contribution to nation building, we are looking at border area development in a big way with 4 pillars, that is infrastructure, communication, tourism, and education. Of course, the cultural revival remains the mainstay. Towards that, Bharat Ranbhumi Darshan as a one-stop solution for information and clearances for visit to the forward area battlefields. This has been developed in partnership with Ministry of Tourism, and this website will be launched by Honorable Raksha Mantri on the Army Day, that is on 15th. We have also gone in for a MOU with Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya for upskilling our Indian Army personnel towards synergizing dual-purpose infrastructure. Since Indian Army has to carry out a large-scale mobilization and it has a large-scale logistic requirement, so we have to align with the national logistic policy. And also this Vishwavidyalaya will train our people. They will carry out the workshop for us, and will also provide later on MBA and MTech degree in transportation and logistics. As for the Army Sports Conclave is concerned, this was again something new, and we are looking at in a big way for Mission Olympic 2036. And for that, we have a strong role because we have the infrastructure, we have the resources, we can provide manpower for the conduct of that, we can raise the territorial army battalions for conduct of this, and also we can provide the players, which we have been doing continuously. In any case, we have 18 boys companies and 2 girls companies which we have raised recently. I am sure the issue of state versus club, which is coming up off and on, will make sure that the army remains as the main key stake player, because we have a large reservoir of potential towards this end. As far as the Army Paraplegic Node is concerned, this has also been now declared as a National Center of Excellence, for which around 60 crore has been given by the Ministry of Social Justice and Ministry of Youth Affairs. Gomti River Eco Task Force, as you are well aware, has been raised on 1st of Jan. Also, Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam campaign, we have planted more than 50 lakhs saplings. There are 3 world records also we have created in Jaisalmer. As you are well aware, this has already been covered in the Man Ki Baat, which is most saplings planted by a team in 1 hour, most saplings planted by women, that is 25,000, and so on and so forth. We are also going on to carry out a discussion with Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change for the afforestation drive carried out by us. So what does it mean? That there is a requirement for us to look into the green credits. Today, we are planting so many trees, but the green credits are not being returned to us. As a result, we are returning 900 crores of rupees this financial year for the reasons that we have the plans ready for construction, but because of the tree cutting sanction not being given, we have not been able to construct those buildings. So last but not the least, as part of our defense diplomacy, contribution and commitment to UN Charter, a rapid deployment force of the Indian Army for United Nations peacekeeping operations shall be ready for mission deployment by March this year. Moment the UN teams come and inspect it, this will be ready for deployment as and when asked for. मैं सभी को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि भारतीय सेना एक प्रशिक्षित, सुसज्जित और युद्ध अनुभवी सेना है जो राष्ट्र के सामने आने वाली हर चुनौती का सामना करने के लिए पूरी तरह तैयार है. Thank you. I am now open to questions, please.
Thank you, sir. We shall now commence the question and answer session. In order to give maximum opportunities, we intend taking 3 questions at one time. Once I call out your placards, please give out your name and the media house that you represent. As is customary, I shall first go to the agencies and DD. I know I'm so firstly, ANI Ajit Dubey, Manas Bhuiya and Pranjali. Please ask your questions.
आपको माइक चाहिए होगा.
Please wait for the mic before you speak.
Sir, namaste. This is Ajit Dubey from ANI, sir. Sir, you spoke about the situation along the northern borders, and you also talked about the resolution of some of the friction points that we have had there, sir. Just wanted to ask you about that only, sir. What is the status of the issues on the other areas on the LAC in Eastern Ladakh and elsewhere, sir? We have had agreements on resolving the issues in Depsang and Demchok. How they have been resolved, sir? What are the steps taken to resolve, and how did we reach that agreement, sir? Have they gone back from the CNC junction and others where they had pitched tents for a long time? And sir, what is the status of the buffer zones that have been created in recent times post Galwan clash, sir? And when do we see the resumption of patrolling in all the areas? What is the status of the standoff, sir, after the resolution of these 2 points? Do we have a standoff with them? And by when do you think the matters would be resolved, sir?
Okay. Please avoid too many questions at one time. Otherwise, others will not be able to ask. Okay, second question. Manas. Yeah. Udar.
Hello, sir. This is Manas Pratim Bhuyan from PTI. My question is about Manipur. Sir, you briefly mentioned about Manipur. I would like to have your overall perspective on Manipur. There have been criticisms that, in fact, there is lack of coordination among the agencies involved in controlling the situation there. And there is an external dimension also to the Manipur situation. Various rebel groups have captured many crucial Myanmarese towns in Myanmar. So is it impacting the overall security scenario along the border with Manipur? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Pranjali. Either.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, प्रांजलि सिंह फ्रॉम संसद टीवी. सो मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे ये है सर, अगर मैं 2047 के मिशन की बात करूं सर, ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ साथ पूरे देश का विजन है, हमारे देश को विकसित बनाना है. इसमें सर इंडियन आर्मी का कंट्रीब्यूशन अगर आप बता सके, आप कैसे कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं. और सर मेरा दूसरा सवाल ये है कि बॉर्डर रोड इंफ्रा एक बहुत बड़ा इशू है. हालांकि अगर पहले और अब की तुलना में देखें तो बहुत सारे चेंजेस हम देख रहे हैं. बीआरओ सर अपना काम कर रही है, इसके अलावा जो मेन लैंड और बाकी बहुत ही जो बॉर्डर एरियाज में विलेज एरिया को जोड़ने में सर इंडियन आर्मी की क्या भूमिका है सर, अभी क्या अपडेट है अगर आप बता सकें. थैंक यू सर.
I think in these 3 questions there must be about 13-14 questions. So let me see how I can fit in all. So Ajit ji, you have asked me basically the status of issues along the LAC. So I will repeat the same word, it's stable but sensitive, point number 1. So what does it mean? that there have been a series of meetings. Firstly, among the ministers, even the Prime Minister has met the Chinese head. Similarly, the meetings have taken place at the level of the Corps Commander. As you are aware, the 22nd SHM sale took place on 21st October, which finished. Thereafter, 5th December, we had the WMCC. Then 18th December, we had the Special Representatives meeting. Now coming on to the Depsang and Demchok. As you are aware, April 20 onwards, that both sides had moved forward and stopped the other side from going to the traditional areas where they were carrying out the patrolling. So what has happened in this disengagement, that both sides have agreed to go back to the areas where both sides feel, okay, this is where we used to come for the traditional patrolling. So that has been agreed upon and both sides have fell back. As far as the verification patrolling, 2 rounds have already been completed by both the sides over a period of time, and both sides are quite satisfied about it. Similarly, as far as the grazing ground is concerned, those grazing grounds also been now mutually agreed upon, those have been agreed, and the graziers are being allowed to go. Earlier we were not allowing them to go because we did not want any kind of a inadvertent aggravation of the situation. The second question which you have asked is about the buffer zone. Let me tell the House that there is nothing called as buffer zone. When you carry out a kind of a negotiation, then you look at what can be solved immediately, what will take some time to resolve. Where you feel that the nature or the degree of violence can be high and the fuse is short, what happens? You create some distances. So when we carried out these kind of negotiations over a period of time, some places we declared as a temporary moratorium. It means that both the sides will remain back and will not go to the common areas, because we still feel that if we meet at those places, the violence level may go high. So that is the terminology which is used as far as the temporary moratorium is concerned. Status as far as standoff is concerned. Now what we have to see, that what all has changed from April 20. If you look at, has the terrain been doctored over a period of time? Yes, both sides have doctored the terrain. Have both sides carried out the billeting construction? The answer is yes. Both sides have carried out some stocking, deployment? Yes. So therefore what it means, that there is a degree of standoff. Now once you have changed all this situation after April 20, so the trust between the two countries has to have a new definition. Therefore, there is a requirement for us to sit together and thereafter come to a broader understanding that how we want to kind of calm down the situation, restore the trust. So we are now looking forward for the next special representatives meeting which should take place, and also the WMCC, and based on the guidance given from that, we will be moving forward. Your related issue was that what is happening along the complete front. So as I have told you, that the Corps commanders have been now delegated the powers to resolve the trivial issues or the minor frictions, so that they don't kind of later on become a big issue. So if they can be resolved at the lower level, that is being resolved. The timelines, I can only say that India has adequate strategic patience. Coming on to the second question, that is Manas had asked for Manipur. Overall perspective. The overall perspective as of today, that yes, there are, if I can say that, affiliations, and the tribal affiliations have taken a strong line. But we have to work as a whole of nation approach to make sure that the reconciliation must take place. And I'm very hopeful with the new governor who has gone there, the step towards this would be taken. As far as the lack of coordination is concerned, which you have brought out, I just wish to assure you, there is absolutely no lack of coordination, But we have to understand that which side is where. When this problem occurred in May 2023, the police from various communities, it was very difficult for them to go to the different community area. So thereafter the DGP had issued the orders that you go to the nearest police station to whichever community you belong to, so that at least you take on those duties. So once you take on those duties, you will find that Indian Army, Assam Rifles and the other CAPFs, we have to coordinate with those people in whichever area they are. So it's not a lack of coordination. Rather, these three agencies are the only one which are able to provide the coordination as of today. As far as external dimensions are concerned, external dimensions cannot be ruled out. It's all over the media. So I'll just leave it at that. Now what happens as far as the Myanmar side is concerned? Since there is some activities taking place on the Myanmar side, and it is claimed that the rebel groups are fighting with the Myanmar army or the Tatmadaw. As a result, there is a migration which is taking place, or the influx of refugees which is taking place. Even there was a time when the soldiers from the other side had walked up this side. We have made sure that all those who are coming here should be treated as refugees, and due respect and consideration and harbour should be provided to them. As far as the situation on the other side is concerned, if there is no support to the VBIGs, then what happens? These people are also moving in. Therefore, some kind of a surrender is taking place, some kind of an induction is taking place where people are coming back and we are disarming them and allowing them to go, and thereafter police is looking after those people. As far as our connect with the Myanmar army is concerned, I just wish to assure you that the connect is complete and we are interacting with each other in due harmony and making sure that the exchange of information and support which is required in terms of intelligence is provided from both the sides. Coming on to the third question which has been given out is 2047 Viksit Bharat. So as you have seen that as far as we are concerned, we are looking at decade of transformation. And why I went about explaining it, because when you see the Viksit Bharat, or even if you look at year of reforms, you'll find there's a major synergy towards that. Let me give you a few examples. When we talk about nation first foreign policy and national security, what it means, the defense diplomacy and the deterrence which is required for any nation to kind of guard its border and ward off the adversaries. I would like to just say, deterrence is costly, but war is costlier. As far as the global economic powerhouse, Indian Army's indigenous consumption as far as weapons, equipment and other things is concerned, we provide a stamp of approval. Once we provide this stamp of approval, the defense domestic industry thereafter gets a flip. And if we are talking about 21,000 crores today, Raksha Mantri is already announced by 2030, we are looking at 50,000 crores as the defense export target. And as we are the biggest consumer, we are also the biggest advertiser of these weapons and equipment. As far as the infra development and speed and scale is concerned, we are working in close synergy with PM Gati Shakti and border area infrastructure which has been brought out. Here itself I will cover the border area infrastructure. That we have the Empowered Committee on Border Infrastructure headed by the CAPSEC. And this committee is working in a very, very aggressive manner. Recently, for 22,000 crores, sanction was given for the northern borders infrastructure development, including few tunnels. Besides, when we had the GLOF for Sikkim, as you are aware, that Sikkim suffered that glaciated outburst, that is the time this committee met and immediately authorized the money to BRO and other agencies to make sure that the recovery becomes that much faster. So I wish to assure you that as far as the planning and sanctions are concerned, that is fastest. Coming on to the BRO is working hard, but now the time has come, the aspiration of the Indian Army is manifold, many times what BRO can provide. Therefore, we are reaching out to the other agencies, which are whether railways or National Highway Authorities, NBCC, and others, and we are trying to get them into the fray so that our infrastructure development along the northern borders should be 3 to 5 times of what we are able to do as of now. There are a lot many to cover as Viksit Bharat is concerned, but due to shortage of time, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll request you to limit yourself to one question and ask no sub-questions so that we have a wider participation. All right, we have 51, 26, 94.
Good afternoon, sir. Sanjeev Barua from The Week. So we have been hearing a lot of talk ever since 2019. The Himgiri exercise was also held. I'm talking about the integrated battle groups. So what is the status now? Has the plan been dropped or still much in the making?
Next, please.
Good morning, sir. Ajay Banerjee from the Tribune this side. Sir, I have a very pointed question. You have answered in detail Mr. Ajit Dubey's questions about the LAC. Do our troop deployments remain the same, or is there a plan to change the troop deployments in the future?
सर मैं मंजीत नेगी हूँ आज तक से। आपने कहा कि जम्मू कश्मीर में अभी भी 80% जो आतंकी हैं वो एक्टिव हैं। नॉर्दर्न आर्मी कमांडर के तौर पर और सेना प्रमुख के तौर पर हमने देखा कि जम्मू कश्मीर में अभी भी बड़ी संख्या में सेना के साथ घुसपैठ की घटनाएं पिछले 1 साल में देखी हैं। 70 से ज़्यादा आतंकियों को सेना ने मारा भी है। आपको इसके पीछे क्या बड़ा कारण नज़र आता है कि ये घटनाएं अभी नहीं रुक रही हैं? क्या सीधे तौर पर पाकिस्तानी सेना इसके लिए जिम्मेदार है या कोई और कारण आप देखते हैं?
So, firstly, I'll take on Sandeep's question, which is on the IBG. As you're aware, IBG, what we are working out is basically restructuring a particular strike corps. Now, when we look at it, it has some financial implication. Also, it has implication in terms of equipping as well as the human resource. It has taken a long period. It is in the final stages. And we are hopeful as of now, as I speak to you, the presentations have been given to in the MOD of all the decision makers, the presentations have been given. Few queries have been raised. We are hopeful because this is the first special purpose vehicle as far as the restructuring is concerned. And if it goes through, others will also follow suit. Timeline is difficult to give because wherever the bureaucracy gets involved, it will take time. But we are hopeful by year 2025, we will either create this IBG or we will cancel this project completely. Coming on to the next question. Ajay has asked questions about the troops deployment along the northern front. Like I told you, that troop deployment is directly dependent on the trust factor. And tangentially, I had told you about the capabilities which have been created. And troop deployment or the infrastructure development is dependent on the capability on the other side, not on the presence of troops on the other side. So as of today, the capability entails that we should continue to maintain this kind of a troops. We have 2 kinds of deployment called as summer deployment and winter deployment. Definitely during this winter deployment, the number of troops come down. So therefore, at least in the winter strategy, we are not looking forward to any reduction of troops. When it comes to the summer strategy, we'll take a review based on that time, how many negotiations, conferences and meetings have taken place. Based on the indications and assurances, we may like to review at that point of time. The third issue which has been brought up by Manjeet, as far as the J&K is concerned, that the violence level is not reducing. Here I would like to just say that the violence level is being orchestrated by the epicenter of terrorism, that is Pakistan. If it is so, is the word helping us in kind of controlling this epicenter in any way? If the support is not forthcoming the way India is looking at, this kind of a terrorist infiltration will continue to be there. However, as of now, we have inducted 15,000 additional troops in year 2024. And that is why you will find that the violence level has gone down, where we have been able to neutralize 73 terrorists, out of which 60%, like I told you, were Pakistan terrorists. The elections, if you see, the elections, the parliamentary elections, state assembly elections, both had nearly 60% plus minus voting. It means that as far as the local population is concerned, local population is going with the peace. The recruitment was only 4 for year 2024. That is negligible. So all the indicators which are there saying that the people of J&K are shunning violence, and this violence is completely being orchestrated by our Western adversary. We can move on to the next one.
Uh, 21, 96 and 172.
Good afternoon, sir. Rahul Singh this side from Hindustan Times. Sir, my question relates to this recent assessment by a senior general on the performance of women officers in the army, specifically limited to the Eastern Command. You said they are doing a remarkable job. Have you taken note of the concerns which were flagged by the then Corps Commander of 17 Corps? Are there any steps being taken to kind of fix those gaps, or is there a sense that perhaps it was a wrong call to give them command role without without carrying out all the steps that were necessary? And the second question is also related to HR only, sir. This is related to Agnipath. You were recently in Nepal and you had chats, you had talks with the Nepalese army chief and other people over there, senior people. So was there any talk on resumption of Gorkha recruitment or some consensus or breakthrough on those lines, sir?
Thank you, Rahul. Next, please. Idhar dena.
सर राजीव रंजन एनडीटीवी सर, मेरा सवाल ये कि अभी हाल ही में सर आपने कहा कि जो फौज में आना चाहते हैं वो वेतन के लिए नहीं वतन के लिए आए। सेना पहले से ही अपने लोगों को काफ़ी अच्छा ख्याल रखते हैं, सुख सुविधा की बात करें इवन रिटायरमेंट के बाद भी, तो सर ये चीज़ कहने की ज़रूरत आखिर क्यों पड़ी, इसके पीछे क्या सोच है सर?
Who's the third? 172.
Hello, sir. Neelam Matthews from Shepherd Media of the UK. This is regarding the tanks. What is the status of Zorawar as of now? Details of the trials. When is the first delivery expected? And related to this itself, when is the second tender to be out? And the T-72 tanks, have they been delayed, the overhauls, upgrades?
Could you please repeat the question again, which equipment you're talking about?
I'm talking about the Zorawar tanks.
Okay.
What is the status of it, the trials, the delivery, and also when is the second tender for the Zorawar supposed to be out?
Okay.
And it's all related, sir. And the overhaul of the T-72s, has that been delayed or are you taking it up now? Thank you.
Okay. I think one question, ek ke saath ek free, it becomes two questions for everyone. Okay. So, as far as Rahul, what you have asked for the women officers, Firstly, General Puri, the letter which got leaked out shouldn't have got leaked out. A court inquiry has been ordered about it. It's a perception. It's his perception. He has all right to give that perception and comment. It's an internal communication. Now, what we have to see that when we made them commanding officers, what were the situations? This was based on the Supreme Court order and where the complete process was accelerated. As you are aware, when we make a commanding officer, we give them various exposures at various fields, we make them do various courses. Like for them, JC was not done, a short course was done. The contact and the bonding with troops was less. Lot of exceptions were given. So when you have these kind of a situation, you may have some kind of a surprises. But overall, if you see, today we have approximately 115 commanding officers who are commanding. And 18 more are ready who already approved and they are ready. And maximum commanding officers of such you will always find is the Northern Command. So I have the first-hand experience to say so that you will always find all kinds of officers. Wherever I have seen, the women officers have been very mature, very considerate, very kind, and if I can say that, up and about. And here I would like to quote one women officer whom probably this time we'll be able to give some kind of award also. Colonel Ponung Doming. She is from East Siang, from Pasighat. And when I was in Northern Command, along Demchok, one of the most difficult road which is being made, she was always present there. I went to Umlingla, which is the highest motorable pass. She was always there. When I went to an underground cavern, and she was also there. So what I am saying, you will find all kinds of examples. So one particular example cannot be taken as a kind of a yardstick. Today, I just wish to assure you that women officers are doing exceedingly well. And if I have to give you some yardstick, today there are approximately 16 officers who are doing staff college. The women officers who are pilots in the aviation branch also, RT, you are already aware, we have already started. In the TA battalion, CSC battalion, AOC battalion, I have first-hand experience to say so, they are doing exceedingly well. Now, what is important is, over a period of time, we have to look into, as far as Indian Army is concerned, we want a strong woman officer. So, what it mean? Kali Mata ka roop? Maybe. But it means it has to be gender neutral approach in the conduct and even the infrastructure which is being provided in the field areas. Places like Sikkim and Mizoram are already looking into it. The physical test parameters should be nearly be the same. But keeping in view the physical conditions, there may be some kind of exceptions which will be made. Women officers also, approximately 1700 are presently training in the Sainik schools, military schools and RMC. So it means that they will be coming to Indian Army and the tri-services. So therefore, it is something which is to happen and it will happen in the most mature, in a welcoming way. That partially should answer your question, Rahul. Yes. Coming on to Agnipath, as far as Agnipath is concerned, as you are aware that this is not the subject due to army chiefs will discuss. And it's a political decision. And as far as India is concerned, India has already given its proposals to the Nepal side. And as and when we hear from the Nepal side, we'll be working towards that. Is it causing any deficiency in the army? No. As of today, wherever such deficiencies are there, it is being filled in by other recruitable military population. Coming on to Rajiv, आपने पूछा है वतन और वेतन क्यों? सबसे बड़ी चीज ये है कि हमें यह समझना चाहिए कि भारतीय सेना किन मुद्दों पे बनी है, किन सिद्धांतों पे बनी है। क्या वो सिद्धांत पैसे के हैं या नाम नमक निशान के हैं? तो मेरा यह कहना है कि आप नाम नमक निशान के लिए आइए, अपनी पहचान के लिए आइए, एडवेंचर एक्टिविटी के लिए आइए। मैं हमेशा यह बोलता हूं कि कारगिल में अगर एक जवान लड़ाई में आगे गया था तो क्यों गया था? क्या वो पैसे के लिए लड़ने गया था? वो अपने साथियों के लिए लड़ने गया था, अपनी बटालियन के लिए लड़ने गया था, अपनी मिट्टी के लिए लड़ने गया था। तो मेरा सिर्फ यही कहना है कि आप आते हैं तो सिर्फ पैसे के लिए मत आइए, आप हमेशा इन मुद्दों को भी साथ में लाइए और ये आपके अहम मुद्दे होने चाहिए। अगर आप इन मुद्दों के साथ आएंगे तो आप सबके साथ में शरीक होंगे, सुख दुख में शरीक होंगे और आप एक टीम के पार्ट बनेंगे। अगर आप वेतन के लिए आएंगे तो आप अपने आप टीम के पार्ट नहीं बनेंगे और हमें आपको अपने सिस्टम से अलग करना पड़ेगा। तीसरी बात मैडम मैथ्यू ने पूछी है जोरावर लाइट टैंक के बारे में। तो एज फार एज जोरावर लाइट टैंक इज कंसर्न, यू आर अवेयर दैट वी आर लुकिंग एट अप्रॉक्सिमेटली 354 tanks to begin with, and in Jan 2023 we had given the AUN for that. An expression of interest was given in April 23, and it was amounted to approximately more than 70,000 crores, 17,000 crores. So as of now, we are looking at 295 as part of Make 1 and 59 as part of the DRDO initiative. As you are aware that few veterans have joined hands together, and we have seen glimpses of this light tank, so-called Zoravar, making rounds. There's already been to the high altitude, carried out some trials, and I spoke to the DG of DRDO who is dealing with this subject. As of today, when we speak, it is making its journey back to Chennai. And after the kind of a improvement which have been suggested during these trials, we will see the new version, and thereafter we'll carry out more trials on the subject. And once this finishes, I am sure for the balance also, the orders will follow. Thank you.
Sir.
Oh, sorry. As for the T-72 is concerned, yes, slippages were there. But you have to see, when the corporatization was taking place, PSUs were not sure how to handle this situation. So what we have done, like I told you, that PSU is also our responsibility. Corporatization doesn't mean that we have given up our responsibilities. So we have sat down with them, worked out with them. And if I can say that today AVNL has enhanced its overall capacity from 120 to 150, and they've assured me that this capacity will be increased to 200 tanks per year. Similarly, we also have the army-based workshops. They are also carrying out a phenomenal work, and 2 base workshops have been nominated to carry out this overall. And you'll be happy to know that in Delhi, we had recently launched the overall of even T90 has been carried out. So I can just assure you that situation is under control. Of course, when the change takes place, initially, first step is the most difficult. That step we have overcome. So now the pace of or the transformation which will be much, much faster.
Yeah. Well, I had noted it last time when you had raised. So 17, 107 and 97.
So here, sir. So Shudhiranjan from Bloomberg. So just wanted your thoughts and views, given that the Indian Ocean region is becoming very, very militarized and contested, what kind, if any, capabilities are you looking at for the future, in tandem perhaps with the Navy, so that, you know, we are ready in case of any eventuality? And also, are you looking, you know, at a later date of basing troops outside? If so, which side, sir?
Basing troops outside?
Yeah, I mean, is there a consideration at all, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, 107. Yeah, please, here, Srinjoy.
Sir, Times Now, Srinjoy Chaudhary. Yeah. Sir, as far as the LAC is concerned, the Army has spoken about leveraging of momentum of what has happened in recent times. Now, is there a case, considering so much positive action has happened vis-a-vis the Corps Commander level talks at 14 Corps, of having similar talks on the eastern side with 33, 3 and 4? Also, sir, are we getting enough engines for our tanks from Russia?
Yes, Sandeep.
सर संदीप न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से। सर कुछ रिपोर्ट्स आई थी कि डोकलाम प्लेटो के पास चाइना ने काफ़ी डेवलपमेंट किया है, कई सारे जो है विलेजेस वहाँ पे और रिसेंटली तैयार किए हैं। अभी क्या स्टेटस है चिकन नेक के लिए वो ये सारी चीज़ें कर रहे हैं, ऑब्वियस सी बात है। तो अभी क्या स्टेटस है और आर्मी इसको कितना कंसर्न मानती है?
थैंक यू। So we're done. Okay. Yes.
So as far as IOR region is concerned, before that, let me tell you that Indian Navy is working along with us in the Pagong Tso Lake in a big way, including unmanned boats are concerned. Also, their special forces are working out in J&K and other places along with us, including the deep sea drivers. Coming on to the Indian Navy cooperation as far as the IOR region is concerned, two places we play a very important role. First is the Andaman Nicobar and second is the Amphibious Task Force. As far as the Andaman Nicobar is concerned, you are aware that we are going to kind of place them on a permanent basis and enhance the role of territorial army in that area. The equipping profile is also being worked out accordingly. Therefore, in conjunction with Navy, we are looking at their employment in a big way. Coming on to the Amphibious Task Force, which is there as of now, we are exploring that how to make it permanent in terms of Amphibious Task Force, which should remain dedicated, whether on the lines of RR or in the lines of permanent regimentation, so that their specialization or the expertise remains with them. As of now, you are aware that the battalions keep getting turned over. Besides this, we are also looking at, may not be in the, actually it comes into the confidential domain. We have some plans which we have worked out together on the western side. I leave it at that for the time being. To enhance the cooperation, we are also with all ships which are going, our special forces or other military personnel are going to various places to have an understanding of each other, so that later on, as and when troops are required to be deployed in a larger formation to any farther area, we should be prepared. But as of now, India does not have any expeditionary designs. So we have no plans to deploy troops outside as of today. Coming on to Shinjo's question, you're absolutely right. That is what I said, that I am looking at now having these conferences. Like you are aware that firstly we have opened up these conferences starting at the station commander level, battalion commander level, brigade commander level, div commander level and corps commanders level. Till brigade and div commanders level, as it is, the talks are taking place. But now we are looking forward, as the SR mechanism and WMCC keeps giving us guidance for all the three corps which you have said, we would be looking forward to having this more coordination, and we will be empowering them with the military decisions which are required to be taken in future. There was one more question which you had asked. Yeah, tank engines as of today, we do not have any issue in terms of, because India has adequate capability to kind of manufacture those. I have gone and seen them myself. I have visited those factories. So a fair degree of assurance, as of now, we do not have a problem. When we look at the transformation, upgradation, when we look at the super high altitude areas which we require high powered engines, then we have to work out. And for this, we are already in talks with various people, various countries, and some kind of a contracts have already been signed. But I just wish to assure you that in those contracts also, as of today, there is no delay. The assurance what has been given to us, we are very sure it will go through in the same time frame. Now, ZTV, your question was Doklam and chicken snake. So as far as chicken snake is concerned, I would like to put it in a different perspective. That is our strongest point, because all the forces which are there in West Bengal, all the forces which are there in Sikkim, all the forces which are there in Northeast, from all the three sides our forces can congregate there. So that is the strongest point, that's not the weakest point. Let me assure you that. As far as the activities of China is concerned, we are keeping a close watch, and whichever quarter are required to be kind of sensitized with that, that is being done. And what we talked about, are our forces ready for any kind of action or reaction? Our forces have always been ready, and there is no let up on that. Thank you. I know you wish to. Yeah. Please give her chance.
Yes.
Out of turn.
Right, sir. In fact, I have a lot of these. We may be able to just about squeeze in one, sir.
No issue. We'll carry on.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next group would be 50, 67, 22, and Manogya. Okay, Manogya, you, since the chief has already said, out of turn, please ask.
Grateful. My question was on women itself. I'm Manogya Loiwal, anchor and editor ABP News. The question is, you've spoken about the role of women, increasing role of women in army. What is the quantum of increase? Do you have a considerable number that you can share? और एक सवाल हिंदी में, आने वाले दिनों में गणतंत्र दिवस पर क्या विशेषताएं रहेंगी सेना की तरफ से, सेना प्रमुख के मुंह से सुनना चाहेंगे।
गणतंत्र दिवस में विमेन के लिए
पूरी तरफ से, सेना की तरफ से और महिलाओं के लिए, दोनों।
Okay, 50, 67, 50, yeah, sure.
Hello, sir. I'm Shivani Sharma from India Today. My question is regarding Bangladesh. In last 6 months, we've seen a lot of disturbance out there after the regime change, especially. And there have been reports of vulnerability along the northeastern states, as we see a very free movement that is being allowed, especially for the anti-India elements in few parts of Bangladesh, close to India-Bangladesh border. We also see a lot of procurements that are being intended by the Bangladesh in terms of new tanks, fighter jets. How do you perceive this change in posture, and how prepared are we in terms of protecting our borders with Bangladesh?
Thank you.
Yeah, 67.
Good afternoon, sir. Dhruv from Bharat Shakti. Sir, recently the Defense Secretary had said that pecuniary issues are no longer an impediment, but the three services as well as the DRDO have been time and again saying that, there is a bit of financial crunch here and there. So what is your opinion on that? And number two, sorry for the second question, but you put a very cogent argument in terms of, say, scaling up of drones, but what about counter-drone systems, sir? Thank you.
So first question was on the financial?
Sorry.
Could you just tell me the first sentence what you used?
Sir, Defense Secretary R.K. Singh a few days ago had said that financial issues are no longer a constraint.
Okay. Yeah, Perry.
General to your left. Dinika Perry with the Hindu. So, like everyone, I'll ask two questions. One, has there been some understanding on Yangtze is concerned, to not block Chinese patrols and allow them to patrol like in the past? Two, a domestic question on the painting which created a lot of news all across. So what was the reasoning behind that? And the question I'm asking is, one logic given by many is that old should give way to new. If that is the logic, then the painting, has Chanakya, Garuda, chariots, but not independent India's finest victory. So understand the reasoning and the logic behind it. Thank you.
3 over or 4 over?
Yes, 4. Manogya was an additional, sir.
So as far as RD parade is concerned, there are a lot many things. So I think the too large a canvas for me to cover. So I will not, I'll skip that question because too many things. But coming on to your women intake is concerned, so I would like to just say that NDA as of today, we have 60 cadets, army cadets, and every year we are looking at about 20 cadets. Also in the OTA, that is Chennai and Gaya, we are looking at 120 per year. Serving soldiers, I've already told you. Women officers, I have told you it's coming to 2037, it will be increase of approximately 1,000. But what is important is women as other rank. Now it involves change of Army Act Section 12. So we are going in for the change, and by 2032 we are looking at approximately 12 times increase. We are wanting to make it 1200, then slowly and slowly to 1700 per year. So gradually the number will increase. Like I told you that the acceptance, we creating that kind of an environment is equally important at this point of time. We have a Vishaka guidelines, but we do not have similar guidelines for the men. So therefore, when we talk about gender neutrality, slowly and slowly we have to prepare the society and the military for that. Once we get that, you'll find the number will continue to increase. We call something called as guardian force. What it means that you may not be in the direct contact, but you are controlling those weapons which may have an impact on the forward troops. Now such forces you will find that the women can play a very important role. Therefore, in the second and third tier, they will play a pivotal role, and we are very sure in the days to come, their number will keep increasing. As far as the total number of women in Indian Army is concerned, among the officers, if I include the AMC and others also, RVC, etc., approximately 8,000 women officers we have today. And we include the TA also, which we have recently opened up, about 110 vacancies we are now going to give per year as far as the women intake is concerned. Coming on to the next question thereafter, Shivani ji, you asked about the Bangladesh. So I'll take your mind back to the comment which has been given by the Bangladesh chief recently, that India is strategically important to us, and same is vice versa. Bangladesh is strategically important to us. As of today, which is the other country which shares border with Bangladesh? It's a small portion, if you see, is on one side, on the southeastern side, otherwise it's all India. Therefore, we are the neighbors, we have to live together, understand each other, and any kind of animosity is not in each other's interest. As of today, firstly, there is no vulnerability from any side. I am in touch with the chief of Bangladesh during the time of when this changeover took place. I was in constant touch with him, and even thereafter in November 24 we had a video conference also. As far as the military cooperation is concerned, is again going up in the same way. Our officers have moved there for the NDC also. There is no let up on that side. The only thing is, as far as the joint exercise which is carried out, because of the situation as of now, that we have postponed for some time, and as and when the situation improves, that exercise will also go on. When we talk about the relationship we should talk about when there is an elected government. So as of now, the relationship is with the military is well and perfect. Coming on to the financial issues which has been brought out, I fully endorse the views given by the Defence Secretary. Though I have the details of how much capital allocation was done, revenue allocation was done, that apart, whatever the Indian Army can absorb in terms of corresponding increase in the training, infrastructure and the manpower, that is being authorized to us. Recently, the kind of sanctions which have been given to us are phenomenal. So that way there is no problem at all. And our wish list is meeting, because it is not only the equipment what we are looking at. We are looking at infrastructure development, we are looking at raising few headquarters and so on and so forth. For that we have been assured there will be no let up. And today as we speak, we may be rather returning some amount of money for Shinkunla tunnel, since that could not get completed, it's just started, the work has started. That money will be returning back. So there is no dearth of money as far as Indian Army is concerned. Counter US, what you had asked for, you're absolutely right. The US and counter US, this always has a ratcheting effect. So if the drone or the US has a technology development, counter US has to beat that. Thereafter again, counter has to come. So this is an ongoing cycle, and in the counter US, what we are working out is in various forms. It is the kinetic form and non-kinetic form. In non-kinetic form, the ranges are less. Wherever we are using the, if I can say that, the jammer and the spoofer, there we are getting more ranges and we are quite successful on that. But the number of equipment is limited. With every passing year, the number of equipment is increasing. So we are very sure that we will be able to take control of that. As far as the kinetic equipment is concerned, that is something keeping in with the limitations, has got its own kind of I say very limited number. But in laser technology, we are working out closely with the DRDO, and in the days to come, we should be able to enhance range even in that. Dinkar ji had asked question about Yangtze So, was there some other question other than Yangtze? Painting. Oh, yeah. That's a critical one for you. You have already published one side of the story, which I saw. So, thank you for that. Now, coming on to Yangtze is concerned, like I told you, that all the corps commanders have been empowered to go through the patrolling and grazing issues. And wherever you can harmonize the relations between the two sides, you should be able to do. As you are aware, when the SR talk took place, there was some press release given. So we are also looking at end of a Kailash Mansarovar Yatra to begin. We are also looking at some trade points to be resumed. So similarly, we are looking at that if we can have some kind of understanding, please go ahead. So that kind of a delegation has been given to the div commanders and corps commanders. They will come back to us. As far as we are concerned, it is, from my side, it is approved. I can only say that. Coming on to the painting. As far as this painting is concerned, let me tell you that there are two chief lounge. There is one chief lounge here and one chief lounge in the South Block. As you are aware, South Block probably by year end we should be vacating it. We are not sure because Thal Sena Bhavan is under construction, and if it comes up in time, then we would be moving out from there. 16th December was chosen as the date to place that painting, the surrender painting, in Manekshaw Center, because that is an auspicious date where we should have placed it. As far as the other chief lounge is concerned, it's a mural, it cannot be removed from there. So I had to take the distance from where to take it out. So it was taken that. Coming on to the painting which is there as of now, which is on ground. This has been conceptualized and made by Lieutenant Colonel Thomas of 28 Madras, which is the younger generation. If you see the golden history of India, golden history of India has 3 chapters. It has British era, Mughal era, and era before that. So, if you wish to connect that and the vision which I have given you in the beginning, symbolism becomes important. If I am talking about rebalancing 1.5, you understand rebalancing 1.5 is against which potential adversary. So once you look at that, my communication with my generation which is there, with the younger generation, my Vayo, my Jawan, it becomes equally important. So therefore, there is a surrender portrait which is in the chief lounge, which is there here in Manekshaw Center, and there is a new portrait which is there. It's also been told that these are mythological. If you open the chapter 4 of the original constitution book, the painting which is there is of Krishna and Arjuna on the same chariot. So is the constitution also mythological? That question you need to ask yourself. Is also being said that there is a Brahmin semi-clad which is standing in center. If the Indian does not know what is Chanakya, we need to refer back to our civilizational approach what we have. And the modern technology, it is visible there. Therefore, if I have to connect past, present and future, this symbolizes that. And if I have to give the credit, I must give credit to that artist who is a youngster, who is the generation next, and he is the one who is going to lead India tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Generally answers, Dinkar?
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we already overshot the time by about... so should we take one more, sir? Yeah. One more, sir? All right. What I noted down earlier, you know, there are so many of these. So 79, 118, 33, and after that coming to you in the next set. So 79.
सर इधर कृष्णमोहन मिश्रा स्पुतनिक इंडिया से सर आर्टिलरी के मॉडर्नाइजेशन के बारे में जानना चाह रहा था कि ख़ास तौर पर ए टैग्स और माउंटेड गन सिस्टम और इसके अलावा और किसी गन सिस्टम के बारे में बात हो रही है और पिनाका रेजिमेंट्स के बारे में भी जानना चाह रहा था कि कितनी और इंडक्ट होने वाली हैं, कितनी और रेज होने वाली हैं.
Yeah, 100. Sir, this side, Madhuren from News Nation.
सर मॉडर्न वॉरफेयर में हमने देखा है कि एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम की ज़रूरत काफ़ी हद तक बड़ी है और उसके इम्पोर्टेंट को नकारा नहीं जा सकता। मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि इंडियन आर्मी का क्या प्लान है फर्दर, क्योंकि हमारे पास लिमिटेड रिसोर्स हैं। अगर एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम की बात करें, फर्दर हम कितना इन्हांस करने वाले हैं और किस तरह के इसके डिप्लॉयमेंट होंगे। एक छोटा सा सवाल और भी है, चूँकि 1 के साथ 1 फ्री आप दे रहे हैं। तो दूसरा सवाल सर एक और मुल्क के बारे में है जो अफ़गानिस्तान है, जिसके साथ हमारे डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस इस्टेब्लिश होते जा रहे हैं और इसकी गवाही हाल में मिले हुए फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी की मीटिंग से भी हमें मिली है। क्या कोई मिलिट्री रिलेशंस भी हम इस्टेब्लिश कर रहे हैं अफगानिस्तान के साथ या फर्दर हम देख रहे हैं?
Only 2? Yes, please. Yeah. Okay. So we already had 3.
3 okay. 2 were. 2 were.
Okay. 33 was Sanjay. Yeah, sorry.
सर मैं संजय मिश्रा, दैनिक जागरण से। आर्मी का एक वॉरफेयर और फायरिंग रेंज नारायणपुर में इस्टेब्लिश होना था छत्तीसगढ़ में, उसका स्टेटस क्या है सर अभी?
मिश्रा जी आपने हिंदी में पूछा था, इंग्लिश में पूछा था?
तीनों ही हिंदी में सर।
ओके। तो जैसे मिश्रा जी आपने पूछा है कि हमारा आरटी गन का हमारे बारे में क्या सोच विचार है, तो आरटी का जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि मीडियमाइजेशन के बारे में हमने सुचारू रूप से तय कर लिया है कि 2032 तक हम 50% जो है मीडियमाइजेशन कंप्लीट कर लेंगे। जहाँ तक माउंटेड गन सिस्टम है, जिसको हम MGS बोलते हैं, वो हमारी 300 जो है तकरीबन हमने उसकी TC कंप्लीट कर ली है और इक्विपमेंट अंडर ट्रायल में जा रहा है। क्योंकि इक्विपमेंट अंडर ट्रायल आपको पता है कि वो हमारा विंटर ट्रायल्स हमेशा विंटर्स में होता है, उसमें वक्त लगेगा, तो प्रोबेबली हम देख रहे हैं 2026 में हमें उसके बारे में नतीजा सामने आ जाएगा। जहाँ तक टोट गन सिस्टम का सवाल है, हम उसमें RFP हमने इशू कर दी है और ये सिस्टम अभी हमारे पास मतलब कार्रवाई इसमें शुरू होगी। लेकिन उसके अलावा हमारे पास क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं? सबसे पहले ए टैक्स का जो है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हमारा अगर सब सही रहा तो तकरीबन 307 गन का हम जो तकरीबन 8,000 करोड़ का है अभी इस साल फाइनेंशियल ईयर खत्म होने के पहले साइन कर पाएंगे। उसी प्रकार से K9 वज्रा जैसे आपको पता है रिपीट ऑर्डर के लिए हमें सैंक्शन मिल गई है, तो हम उसमें रिपीट ऑर्डर में जाएंगे। और अगर इन चीज़ों में हमारा इंडिजनाइज कंटेंट बढ़ता रहा तो जो भी हमारी विश लिस्ट है उस पर्टिकुलर इक्विपमेंट की हम उसको रिव्यू करेंगे। अगर उसमें इंडिजनाइज कंटेंट ज़्यादा है तो हम मिड कोर्स रिव्यू करके हम उस इक्विपमेंट को ज़्यादा लेना चाहेंगे, बनस्पति उस इक्विपमेंट के जिसमें कि इंडिजनाइज कंटेंट कम है। तो इसमें सोच विचार रहेगा। जहाँ तक हम पिनाका की बात करें, पिनाका इसमें भी वही सोच विचार आ रहा है कि अगर इसका एमनिशन हमें बढ़ी हुई रेंजेस दे सकता है तो क्या जो हम ऑल्टरनेट देख रहे थे उस ऑल्टरनेट की ज़रूरत है। हम जो हम अभी हाई एक्सप्लोजिव प्री फ्रेगमेंटेड जो हमने एमनिशन जिसका हम अभी साइन करने जा रहे हैं तकरीबन 6,000 करोड़ का, और एरिया डिनाइल म्यूनिशन जो हम साइन करने जा रहे हैं करीब 4,500 करोड़ का। तो जैसे ही हमारे ये एमनिशन में बढ़ोतरी होगी और हमें रेंज अच्छी मिलेगी, हो सकता है जो हमारे बाकी लॉन्ग रेंज वेपन्स हैं हम उनको ड्रॉप करके इसमें कंसंट्रेशन करें। तो एग्जैक्ट कितने हम रेज करना चाहेंगे शायद मैं अभी उसको ना कहूं और उसको भविष्य के लिए छोड़ दूं। जहां तक हमारी एडी सिस्टम की बात आती है, एज फार द एडी सिस्टम इज कंसर्न, व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग एट, V-SHORAD is something which we are working out in the immediate time frame. Balance we are working out in conjunction with the Air Force, that is Akash and others. So first thing is that the AD system as a whole, it has to be seen as an integrated approach by the nation. To carry out a convergence between the Air Force and the Army, we are going in for Akash Tir, and probably by year end we'll be having due integration between the two, that is the IACCS, CCCS of the Air Force, and ours will also be talking to each other. Now, moving further, we have a tactical level and we have the operational or the strategic level. What we'll be looking at the tactical level, something which Army should be controlling it, and as for we move to the operational or the strategic level, it will be the Air Force controlling it. As far as the radars are concerned, these will be placed jointly by the two, and the information will be jointly shared. So this is how I would like to cover as far as the AD is concerned. Coming on to the Afghanistan, our emotional connect between Afghanistan and India is always high, and it will remain so. But as far as the military presence as of now is concerned, we are not looking at any military presence in the near time frame or in the immediate time frame. Coming on to the last question of the Sanjay Mishra ji, that is Narayanpur. We are looking at this range may not be in the immediate future, because the way our troops are deployed, is this required? We have to see firstly that. Secondly, do we have the troops in this area? As you are aware that in view of the rebalancing 1.0 what has been carried out, our troops are looking at super high altitude area. So we are wanting our ranges in the super high altitude or in the mountainous region where we can practice. And therefore we are making a great attempt to acquire these ranges in such areas where we can carry out the firing. As and when the requirement develops, we will certainly go in for acquiring this range and moving troops there also to carry out the training. That's all I have to say. It was nice interacting with all of you, and I am sure that media will keep supporting our endeavor to make sure that the thought process of Indian Army reaches to a common man and also to a soldier, because you are the one who make it reach faster vis-a-vis us. Thank you very much.